thingamajig broker somewhere in there. Better to be on top of a mount than standing behind it. You might want to poke around in that old hole. You found a manufactorium, a place where Toxanol made all sorts of things during the days gone. This story is as powerful as you'll let it be. This place looks like a real monster magnet. Says it's time to set the outpost free. Inflict as little damage as possible as you make your way through to the rival captain. Freedom is not worth having in a world that's doomed. Here's the first line of defense. That's a bomb lobber. That hit the spot, wrecked it. A barrel shoot. Smack it to get a barrel out of it, then hit it toward the gate and blast it. That looks splody. Shoot it and watch it glow. Not too close, though. Kaboom! You're in. Keep going. Here's the second line of defense. It's smoldering already. Give it a good smack. Give it a good smack. Almost there. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. He says you did a great job capturing the outpost. You're one step closer to ending the tribe war. Says you didn't have much of a choice. Control your destiny, or someone else will. That's an old home, or what's left of it. You found a crossway. Now, which way to go? The Quirk-Quarp outpost. The Netra tribe first beat this into shape. Let's see. Says they've been waiting for you to help them liberate the outpost. Just keep going while you can, and don't stop until all outposts are under your control. There is a high boom team ready to help with taking over that outpost, but it seems their arc shooter is busted. Seems happy to hear the arc shooter will be dropping high booms down on the outpost quick-like. Don't hug your mount. It's not your friend. Knockdown drag out. So much damage. Wow. Perfect pantsies. Get up there and get fixing. Smart foe would leave now. Halfway there. Swoon. Critical. Cutting edge. It's beyond late. Hey, nice shot. Hack and slash. Well placed. All fixed up. The arc shooters are already gearing up the high booms. Hope their aimers are fixed too. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. He says you did a great job capturing the outpost. You're one step closer to ending the tribe war. Says you didn't have much of a choice. Everything seems to take longer at night. Check out that motor juice station. Wonder if there's any go juice left in the juice tank. Bionucleus 4J. Toxanol should never have built these to start with. Don't be feary. It probably won't bite. Let's see. There's the sovereign who runs this outpost. He didn't expect his outpost to be invaded, but now that you're working with their rival, he can see why. Not sure if you're likable enough to just give up the outpost without a fight. Says he just realized a peaceful end to this would be best. He'll trust the outpost to you. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. Thinks you did a great job capturing the rival's third outpost, and believes the rival is weak enough to engage them at their fort. They all hope you can lead them to peace. The sun's a long ways away. They've been waiting for you. Taking control of this fort will bring peace between your tribes. You better be. A tribe's fort is a bigger challenge than an outpost. The plan is to fling you over the wall with a sling lobber. However, he wants you to secure a hard hat first, should anything go wrong. It's better you go and find one for yourself. It can't be too much trouble, though. It's one size fits all. The end is coming to the world, and everything else. Heads up. That's Peak Spot, a great place to watch the world from. Who knows who might be watching you? Kaboom! close encounter. This story is about a hero. It seems that keys need to be in sequence to make the ring-dinger work. So, the technology from yesterday's is still here today, even if its message is getting old. You always find good use for things like that. You'd be drier in a swamp. It's time to set the rival tribe free. Inflict as little damage as possible as you make your way through to their Sifu. You need to unite the tribes and save the Tree of Life to truly become free. That's sure to be useful. That's a fire starter. The dry grass looks like it would ignite easily. You just need to create a spark to light a fire. It burns brighter than the light. Everything is at stake. Carving it up. The battering bonker looks like a great way to get through the gate. Bet you just need to knock and it'll open up. That's bonkers. The Netra tribe values liberty and is striving to protect freedom. They want to continue with each tribe being responsible for their own and believe that uniting the tribes is the only way you can survive. He was hoping it wouldn't end this way. There's no reason to fight instead of uniting. It would be fighting over nothing. He sees strength in you like no one else, but if fight is all you do, he can't stand by you. He recognizes the strength of a good argument and agrees it's for the best. He'll give up the fort to you. The rival Sifu is defeated, and the destiny of their tribe is in your hands. You are free to choose their fate, but not free from the consequences of your choice. He'll leave it up to you to decide the fate of the rival Sifu, but suggests you be merciful. Do good, and good will follow you. Thinks it's a good gesture to offer support to others when you can see that they need it. And with that, you're spinning your own fate, good or bad, never to be undone. Side by side they'll stand until order and stability is reinstituted. He's gotten news that the other tribes have realized there are no winners in this war. There's no purpose in antagonism. The way he sees it is that you've been forced into opposition. Your tribe didn't start the war, but it's fallen to you to end it. It's clear your efforts have been successful. There's light at the end of the tunnel. The tribes are tired of war and will remember the one who brought them peace, whether you decide it'll be now or later. So, do you want to end the war now or continue the crusade? He agrees. Better save your energy for something meaningful. It's the Netra claw chain. When you're in the mountains, everything seems so far away. The Yerp Fields, where the echo of your actions resounds clearer than any other place you'll find, except for where that's not true. Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east. Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped. Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared. Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He's happy to help. Says you should take care. Make the most of the night while you can. Listen to all that night noise. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? This region is known as the Canupstonies. You can't find a harder place in the world. Ah, the Gnote Pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Let's see.
Puri kumbala mua. Asana yotpa.
Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again.
Ariaroche nui mumera.
She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid.
Tukonda.
Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark.
Asil natu.
But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going.
Domale tuk.
Is sure they'll come back on their own once you stop forcing them. Hopefully not to haunt you, though. You've suffered enough already.
Monibasa.
Knock.
Inyada aldo.
She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least.
Anaro lote.
She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still.
Masama.
Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here.
Masama.
Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupa Lupin to pay for what he did to her Gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
Come toward the light.
Slow down. Why would you rush in?
When you see what you want, why wait?
Well, what about being careful?
Pah! Poppycock! Full speed ahead!
Puri kumbala mua.
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones.
Pendrine senema.
You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can.
Tukonda.
So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it.
Kamonu.
Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out.
Kialdo male canodo.
Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights do.
Sana yote.
They're just so shiny, makes her smile to think about them.
Sana yote.
But let's not speak of that now.
Kala.
She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow.
Taifanamenuma.
The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you.
Kanoruta.
You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater.
Asana yotpa.
It's the most magnificent creature she's ever encountered. A creature straight out of a dream or story. Time to ride. You found the Majut Meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Slice and dice. Right where it counts. Pow! Right in the face. Made it count. slash. You're not dead yet. You seem to have made a new friend.
Berry?
Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned.
Puri kumbala muma.
She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down.
Sadurutu.
The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down.
Kala.
She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time.
Ora sadurut.
It's easy to describe. A crossway is where roads meet in a knot and merge. This one is in Sector 7J, if you're familiar with Out-of-Date's map. This is turning out to be quite an expedition. you've got everything you need to make something special. Now, you look like a gunslinger, but are you really a wheeling, dealing son of a gun? Guess you still want more than that. You're here for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what that is. You should be able to use that. Bolted shut. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get, once it's out of the blind box, that is. You flick the switches in order to greenlight the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. It's so barren here. With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world mecha Majut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away. It's a seat you fasten on the back of a mount to safeten up your ride. It can become quite bumpy and risky without. Good ridey beast, no hurty. You finally found the village of Bumlidoff. The Smilo Shopperia. Guess shopping here put a smile on your face. Grit. Chop it up. Beefed up. Eye boxes like this are few and far between. However, that's no great loss. Talking pictures from the aforetimes lacked. As the eye box broadcasts, it's hit or miss, but when it does hit, it's usually right in the feels. Odd things lurk in the darkest parts of the underworld. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Now hold on, sit tight. Isn't that the Mechamajut over there? You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the Mechamajut. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Nocco. Be careful where you grab that mount.
Minalagi mamuru.
Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of bonbon gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride.
Tukonda.
Nocco's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it.
Kanyala no toro.
She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe.
Pial tuma.
You'll find Mito at Brightlight. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths.
Kanamunta.
They're small airborne creatures with bright reflective wings and a conspicuous fluttering flight. Be gentle, this mount's a breather. This place is called Brightlight. Mito lives close by. Let's see. With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it. And even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that. Figures that doesn't make it any less worth fighting. You found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it? Hopes you see how much good you can do with power like that, and how easy it is to let it drive you mad. No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past bright lights the present. Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine? Says he can see that in the way you brighten everything up. So happy you know you're helping brighten the world. There's plenty of it that's still worth saving. Whatever happens to the world, you shone as bright as you could. That matters more than you know. Says you did the right thing in taking up with the Myriad. They buy lots of his lamps. That's a tribe that believes in the bright things in the world. It's clear you do. Nothing shines as bright as being right. Says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies. He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days. There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So why not call him Me Too? He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right. Believes no one is entirely dark. Even the worst have a spark of good in them. Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter too. He reckons you haven't seen a glitter moth, and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow. Finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end. Glows with delight at your bright passion for the light. Mush mush. That's going to leave a mark. Now that's a flesh wound. The best stories are about heroes. This is such a story. Glittermoth Cave is right here.
Sadurutu.
That's enough glittermoths to make her plan work.
Domale tu.
She wants you to stop worrying about the paths you've ridden and focus on the inevitable road ahead, the one that leads to confrontation with the World Eater. The hoof puff is evidence of the duality of evolution, utterly beautiful and grotesque at the same time. She means that the hoof puff has had more time to eat at the root as it's been isolated in the Knoopstonies Mountains. So, based on that alone, she reckons it has suffered as much damage as the northwest root that's hidden beneath the surf. It reminds her of the gnotes and, like them, it's hoofed. They're just a lot bigger. Hey, a mount has no gears to grind. Mountains make for hard climbing. That sealed the fate of the third World Eater. Just one more to go. Out of Date asked to see you again to congratulate you and let you in on the final phases of his plan. This is your chance to get his priorities aligned with yours. Do right by your tribe and the world at large. Just head back to the Ark. He seemed eager to see you again. She wonders if the rumors she's heard about you finding the Ark are true. She's thrilled you found one. There's nothing you can't do. Loves that you did your best to help the world rather than hurt it. You could have used much more of that, even before you returned. Any idea who might be joining you on your Arky journeys?
So, what we have here is an opportunity to...
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself and me, of course, but I'm a part of you, so that doesn't count.
If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. The only one we'd want to get away quickly from here is darkness.
But you know you can't go on without me. Even if I'm bad company, I complete you.
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better to be alone than in bad company. But best of all is being good company yourself.
Feels deeply honored that you'd want her to come with you. An Ark is no ganote, but she can't pass this up. She's coming aboard. Noko knows she's known for saying things over again.
Gala.
Understands you have other places you need to... The night time is the right time. You've been waiting a long time for this, and now it's finally here. Time to get going to Lupa Lupin's camp. He's happy to help. Understands you have things to do. Lupa Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Tread carefully here. This is Lupa Lupin's camp. Lupa Lupin says he's been looking forward to this moment. He wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Lupa Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. No. He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last. That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again. and you'd eventually remember where you came from. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates and the strongest survive. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. Heroes are only heroes for others, but they do the work, or they're heroes to no one. Out of Date says there'll be consequences of the war, but there are more pressing matters at hand.
Wherefore, where?
The last World Eater has been left undisturbed with the tree while you focused on the war. He thought someone with your light perspective and key would have had different priorities and faced the World Eaters before resolving the tribe war. Regardless, Out of Date is grateful the tribe war is over. Out of Date understands the road has been rough, but you already know what's left to end this journey, and it'll be tough. You're the only one that's strong enough to face the last World Eater. The future depends on someone with a light perspective to give the world a chance to survive. Only time will tell what the future holds, and if it will bring a lasting peace for those that make it to the end. Out of Date says the word about what you've done so far is spreading. The tribes haven't lost hope yet. He appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately, he's had urgent news from his friend Wiz in the northwest. He's unsure about your intentions, but hopes you'll support Wiz. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Wiz and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's hunch is real. The Merc Puff is up next. Out of Date says that Wiz is worried now that the Northwest World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Wiz is working on an undersurf vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done. Out of Date suggests that you should head northwest as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He's happy to help. Seems surprised. Love to hear a mount's footbeat. You've discovered Fanaki leaves, the densest jungle in the land. Better get hacking. Is your mount paying attention? Another quarrel spot. Back in the days, there were things here. Now, it's all gone. The Surge Surf Factory. Keep your eye out for Wiz while you're here. Let's see. Nothing here has ever known the cold. Toxanol's mining led to mass deforestation and increased global warming, as nature couldn't absorb the carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas emissions without the trees. These irreversible changes to the climate also contributed to the evolution and modified our genetic code. Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod? Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memories get murkier the deeper you go, but says it helps to have friends with you to plumb those depths. He set up camp at the foot of the Tree of Life. It's gotten more difficult for it to find defenseless prey, as it's already eaten most of them. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Lupa Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever, but you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what. He knows that though the tides of history may push you in one direction, you can always lay your own course. Ultimately, it's your choice. You were the one to be wronged and have lived with the consequences. He believes in consequence, as it's a direct result of action.
Rundar Quick, run!
Smarty, take it easy.
Easy! Now. No, it's time to go, go, go!
Well, it's time for you to go.
Wait, what? No!
Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really has it. Did you make the decisions that brought you here, or are you just a pawn of fate? Maybe that's true for you, but he's not so sure about his own fate. Amazed the world is going to continue on, but happy to hear it. Still so many things to invent. Impressed that you fought so hard to keep the world spinning. Thinks you were smart to join with the Myriad. They have a rainbow of ways to approach any problem. Says they're unified in the ways that matter. But that's not nearly as important as this. Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths. But there's something else down there too, gnawing at the Tree of Life. He's named it the Merc Puff. This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-goin'. He can't leave the surge station, so you must help him find a tug twister. There's a wound-up mecha Fingro in the mecha stadium that still has one stuck on its back. Find it, and you'll find the tug twister. It's definitely made to lend a helping hand and do the heavy lifting. Toxinol records mention it as an automaton made for moving bionucleus matter into storage areas. Look at the notices on that board. No one paid much attention to them, it looks like. Wiz should be around here somewhere, probably taking care of his guppos. A surge surf factory was one of the cleaner ways to make power, until the surf turned into goo and clogged it all up, that is. The thicker the surf became with goo, the more the machinery clogged up and stopped working. Like most things from the bygone. There are sure to be more tracks around here, maybe by the shore. If you're tired, maybe find a place to rest. Impressed you found that, despite all the goo. This place has held power for a long time. In many ways, it still does. Anything that's been ruined can be fixed, but it took a long time to get this bad. It'll take a long time to clean it up, too. Glad you found that track. There's a lot to learn about this world, both here and beyond. It's a cold zone. Even a thick coat of fur is enough to keep you warm here. An old home. Could be something to it. That's the hut. Wonder if there's anything still inside. You need to point its face in the right direction. Don't want to point a finger, but the Mecha Stadium is near here. That feels better. Crack-a-doo. This won't be a field trip. It's the real thing. Someone locked it solid. Nothing simple. It's locked. You have a good eye for that stuff. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need something slick. Well, he means slick as in greasy, so you can lube the hinges of the lid. He can't argue against the fact your fur's shiny. He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out. He knows his old friend Choo Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow. He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler. The Merc Puff is crunching bark by the minute. Wiz heard he's currently stranded at the end of the line, so it should be easier to track him down now compared to when he's running rails. More light means fewer places to hide. That's a chug hut. Probably no chug-chugs in it, but you never know. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo-Choo here. Take this seriously. Choo-Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. The rails might be getting rusty, but eventually they all converge on him. Wonders who doesn't like rules or rails. They keep you on the straight and narrow and bring you right where you belong. Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track or look for a way to hit that switch? You seem like you're on the right track already. He just hopes you don't get sidetracked onto a darker path. Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be. Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. If you could go back, would you switch tracks or keep chugging along the one you're on? Likes your sureness, the way you keep at it like a chug-chug with no way to reverse. Seems like the world came out of its rut and is chugging toward higher ground again. Can't thank you enough for hitting the brakes and working to turn the world chug around. But let's not get derailed. Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out, but sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station. As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo-Choo. He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to stay positive regardless of the situation. Says sometimes life runs off the rails, but it's always better when they're good and greased. He's convinced the tracks are like the paths our lives take, and you must deal with the outcome, even if you didn't lay them yourself. This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wing nut to get back on track. Wing nuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugger-chugger out there. The challenge is taking them off, so he's happy you're here to do it for him. Says he knew you would, like he knows the way the rails run. This thing needs new bounce orbers. The Wingnut Chug Tunnel. It goes on forever. At least being underground keeps you out of the weather. Might not need that now, but you will later. That's super duper dope. Gah, that's just awful. Watch your step around here. Who can stand against that? Blasting everything to bits. Got it. Hardened. the day is here. Choo Choo says he knew you'd come through. If someone makes a stop at your station, it's for a good reason, but he understands no one gets their tracks greased for free. He'd be happy to part with his spare grease sprinkler, as he believes it's a great fit for any of your business that needs to be unstuck. He keeps it safe in a box on the handcart, in case of emergency. Yes, for something catastrophic, like something squeaky in need of greasing, or an ointment to ease the pain in these dark times in general. Choo Choo says you should help yourself to the grease sprinkler. It's a versatile tool from the bygone, a last of its kind, so don't let it go to waste. He's convinced you'll put it to good use, as there are lots of stuckies out there that need greasing to open. Seems glad you think so. You're on the right rail. Choo Choo says he can't wait to get out of this place. So, says you covered the important things already. You shouldn't worry about smashing up the box. Choo Choo has no use for it now. Choo Choo says he feels strongly about helping his next, just like you did for him. He's convinced there was a bigger reason you met. Sometimes the wrong train will take you to the right place. He believes you've got what it takes to make a difference. He's witnessed it himself. Figures everyone chooses their own path. The longer you ride the rails, though, the easier it is to travel with friends. Choo Choo's thrilled you found the Ark. Just imagine how much faster than a chug that thing must be. And no rails needed. Needs no rails, no roads, nothing but air. The world's on the mend, so no need to leave it. But just think of all the places the Ark could take you. Says he's happy to see the Ark in your hands. Knows you'll go great places with it and do some good. Wonders who you might call aboard the Ark with you.
So, what we have here is an opportunity to...
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself, and...
If you want to go quickly, go and...
But you know you can't go on without me.
I think we can finally agree on something.
After spending a life on the rails, he's eager to ride the skies with you. Just let him pack his rollerboard, and he'll roll aboard. Choo Choo says he's ready to pack up and leave. Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. Are you scared yet? It's getting dark. Wiz says that there's no plan to confront the Merkpuff until the octopod is properly armed. He knows you'll need something that packs enough boom to put a dent in that shell, or better yet, head. Pyro sticks will do the trick. He says his old friend Boom makes all things that go bang. There's a rumor that some of Boom's pyro sticks shot off and are out there roaming free. You should keep an eye on the horizon for pyros. If you're fast, you have a shot at catching some of them before they go off. He's a peculiar little fellow that's been fiddling with splodies since he was a kidling. It runs in his blood. Their family recipes pack a punch. Climbing's good. There's no time to look back. Too busy moving on. The oil claimed this land a long time ago. That there is a fume foundry where toxanol processed go-juice. That's a bang plant, where Toxanol used to make all sorts of splody things before it blew up in their faces. Right between the eyes. Watch it. You have a chance to change the future for good or bad. Running low. Wow, wow, wow. That looks like an unbanged pyro stick on the loose. Better catch it before it goes off. The pyro sticks will cause a bang, but targeting is on you. At least now you have a chance to hurt the Merc Puff where it counts. He hopes so, as there's no Plan B, or more correctly, Plan C. Out of Date has named this Plan B. Plan A was to take on the World Eaters by foot, or flaps in this case. Turns out swimming down there was a bad idea. Wiz has been working on another cannon, but instead of pyro sticks, it squirts guppos, scaly distractions for anyone with an appetite disorder, and irresistible for the Merc Puff in particular. Seems the best way to find guppos is go talk to Gil. He has a natural sonar and knows where the guppos sub the surf. This means you'll have to go visit Gil at Burblebottom. Find Gil and he'll be able to tell you where to find the guppos. Guppos are lively beings, and they're fast too. They're here, there, and everywhere. Or at least they used to be. Perhaps now you can see your targets better. Let's see. This is Burblebottom, resident. Happy to finally get to meet you. He's seen a lot of things wash up on his miniature shore, but nothing as exciting as you. Figures it's impossible. As bad as the air might be, the goo is even worse. It must have been upstream only to get to this point in your histo-future. But which way are you going now? With the flow or against? It's crazy hard to flipper against the surf, but you can't save the world if you let it sweep you away. Either way, it's a shame the surf has gotten so nasty. Thinks life is like trying to ride a wave. You need to pick the right one, but you don't really know which one that is until you're on top of it. Better to ride a wave than let the perfect one pass you by. Seems to him that there's always another wave coming along. Can't imagine how wonderful it's going to be to surf on gooless goo. The world is going to live. Can't thank you enough for fighting against the goo. Happy you ride alongside the Myriad. They bring a real shine to everything they work with. Says they shine so bright, they glitter on the waves. But none of that's nearly as important as enjoying the day, right? He never drank from this pond because of the disgusting things done there. Even the fish stopped drinking here after the pollution made the surf mucked and the air blocked his gills. He figures the Tree of Life isn't drinking either. Or, well, that's not true. He said it does drink, as it has no other choice. It's a tree, but it's forced to drink poison. Figures you're right, but that doesn't mean he has to drink that. His friend Wiz needs guppos for one reason or another, and Gil is ready to point you in the right direction. But here, you're only going to find dead ones. He's pretty sure Wiz wants them alive. Well, at least the ones that aren't already rotting. If you head in the right direction, you'll find a clean enough bit of surf to snag yourself some guppos. Then you can get them to Wiz for whatever he has in mind. Figures he's always been a friend to Wiz, and now he can be one to you too. is Guppy Grotto. Could be danger around any corner down here. Don't trust your eyes so much. They play tricks in the dark. Lockety-locked. Sometimes you've just got to start over. The scrap keeps... Just a few moves left. Make them count. Heroes make for the best stories. It's up to you if you want to be one. That seems to be enough guppos to provide the octopod with infinite ammunition. He's surprised the Merc Puff's been able to hold its breath all this time. It's just another proof of the evolutionary change caused by Toxanol's contamination. Being undersurf has meant the Merc Puff has been left alone to munch on the route down there undisturbed. This means the northwest route has suffered more damage than the others. He's sure there's enough time to confront the Merc Puff, but he worries if the world has enough years left to last his lifetime, even if you stop the World Eaters. A hero's death. That was the last of them. You've sealed the fate of the tribe and the tree. It's time for the end game. You have your destiny. Follow it all the way back to Out of Date. He never told anyone about what's next, but he's sure it involves you. Just continue to stay true to yourself and respect others whatever happens. You've become their pride, the guiding light of the tribe. It's time to return to the tree one last time. So many creatures doing so many things during the day. Out of Date says the signs of the end of the world are everywhere. It seems nature is preparing to take revenge. The day of reckoning is coming, and you are invited. He can feel you're approaching the end date. If you haven't decided whom of all like-minded, light-hearted beings you've met have earned a seat on the Ark yet, it's time to do that now. Then grasp your last chance to make sure Loopalupin stopped for good. The tree settled its score, but it left yours half done. He says you need to see Loopalupin eye to eye one last time. He's happy to help. Says talking to you was interesting. Just ignore trouble till it clocks you in the head. Old brick-bracks like that, sometimes still full of good things. There are places up ahead.
Menja bea.
He's learned you discovered and activated the last of the arcs. How exciting. Old doesn't always mean bad, especially when talking about tech from the before times. We've lost far more than we've relearned.
Pantal parat iranta.
Just imagine how much more of the world you can see in the Ark, now that the world's still going to be around.
Nan.
You fought well for the world. You can be proud of that, no matter what.
Urban.
Questions if you could possibly have any open spaces left for fellow travelers on that Ark of yours.
So, what we have here is an opportunity.
Why? You don't...
If you want to go quickly,
But you know you can't go on without...
I think we can find...
Urban.
Almost.
Lan oko potayake.
Wiz knows it's the same old, but he likes talking to you.
Unarupocho. Emacho.
We'll be around when you return. No time to graze, let's go. The Sifu is seeking revenge too. He hasn't forgotten what Lupa Lupin did, but he also wants to stop him from attacking his tribe. That the world seems to survive doesn't mean he must. He hopes you agree, even if it goes against your light-hearted nature. There's no room for predators in the world the Myriad tribe is building. But he knows this is your fight. You should handle it. Lupa Lupin's own fear was his shackles, not the roots of the tree. It just changed him. You have a chance to stand back and let the tribe handle it. The Sifu is ready to step into the fray. Are the odds about to change in your favor? If a friend dies, something inside you dies. You can save the Sifu by making yourself a target. You're up. Shockwaves spread when the world crumbles. This is not a prophecy, me telling you about the future. It's you shaping it. Here's a vulgar display of power. The more he does, the stronger he becomes. who the real enemy is and stop playing the game his way. This is how it ends. The Predator and the world itself suffering. But at least it's a sign they're both still alive.
So, what we have here is a clear matter of life and death, and only you can make a difference.
You continue to make bad decisions and mistakes. Oh, it never ends.
It's easy to make a good decision when there's only one option. The only mistake here is you.
My mistake is letting you speak. My conviction is that the world would be a better place without your voice.
Convincing yourself doesn't win the argument. In the end, we won't remember the words of our enemies, but the silences of our friends.
The weak can't forgive. Forgiveness is a strength. It's not all life and death. It's no better time than now to accept a helping hand. Do you wonder what turn life might have taken if you'd done things different? A left when you went right? A yes when you said no? You've walked the thin line between survival and disaster and haven't lost your balance yet. It's because of you the Tree of Life and the world has been given a second chance. You carried the light in a world full of dark and made a difference in a place that needed change. You allied with the Myriad tribe and acted on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. However, light and dark does simply represent the polarities of life. One can't exist without the other. This isn't the end. Just being surrounded by nature as it heals itself will rejuvenate us. Nature will teach us how to survive. So, trust your conscience to show you the way, and everything else will follow. As foretold, you were destined to split the chains of this world. But you're not alone. You filled the Ark, and those that shared your perspective and gained your trust will accompany you on your journey. Is there a world out there that's better suited for those imbalanced in their light nature than this one? Whether or not, we'll leave your story on record, so those who come after will know you followed your light nature and saved the world. So, when all is said and done, it turned out to be an unusual ending after all. What could be better than ending the story the right way? Ending it your way, a beginning of something new.